well. That's not ideal. Hello and welcome to a very cold, very icy Daytona Milton Keynes for Super Champs Round 7. And you can see here the track is so slippy and so icy. The roads to get to this track were also just covered in ice as well. As we can see, we've got the first car already off. Now for this qualifying session it will just be trying to find the grip, see where the ice is, see where it isn't. I guess my theory was in the sun is where it would be grippier, but you can see here hit a bit of ice and we go wide. So for this format there's a 10-minute qualifying, it's a 15-minute shootout race into a 25-minute feature race. You get points for both races, more points at the end means a bigger trophy, so let's see how we can do. But for now I'll just show you the rest of this outlap and you can just see how slippy it is. And as we come into this cliff drop section you can see all the ice across the track, and here is the slippiest part of the whole racetrack. It's got sheet ice. It almost makes it almost single file through there, to be honest with you. Again, as we sort of come down to this hairpin, we kind of have a look to the inside a little bit, but again, kind of just playing right now, seeing where they grip, seeing where there isn't, and again, so much ice on the left there kind of makes bus stop quite narrow. But as we now come onto this back straight, and yeah, his weaving caught me off guard there. Let's come down to this back straight and into these final few corners. You can see because the sun's been out, it's not too bad. It's grippier. It's let's call it dry, but it's not really icy. He says there's a car parked there, but yeah, overall it's not too bad. So qualifying itself was quite interesting. Nothing really too much happened. Got P2 overall, so we line up on the grid for the shootout race. So let's see what we can do. And for this race, what a poor start. The car behind did point to say that the car in P3 did jump the start, which is why we're now in P3. But we'll just have to settle in and see what we can do. Because it's so slippy, it's just trying not to like drop it really, and we get a lovely little push from behind, which does push us back into second. We do cover off the hairpin to make sure no one can really come down our inside, and back into P2. So started P2, had a bad start, but able to regain it. So overall, after the first few corners, not too bad. I'll take P2 from here, to be honest with you. Now let's head down and see if we can catch the leader as we're sort of coming into this icy section again, and you can see there's just ice offline, and I tried more of a conventional racing line there, and I think it does work. And coming into the super icy part, and it's tricky because you want to push hard and see if we go a little bit deep on the brakes there, which compromises through that line and into that next line, and car behind's got a better run than us. But again, we're kind of all holding station at the minute. We are there with the leader. There's a wider line in through bus stop, which allows us to have a little look on the inside, but get compromised. We do have to lift out of it. So we have a look behind. We see that P3 is behind us, so he pulls alongside. But we do have a better run, to be honest with you, down the straight. I mean, that will be mainly due to our weight advantage we do have over Ash. We've got about 20 kilos roughly on him, although we are all in the heavyweight category. I am literally weighted up to the limit, which you will notice in the straights is why we drop him. But I think in the mid-corner speeds in these icy conditions, it's probably going to help a lot as we go in a little bit too deep and we kind of clip the back of the leader, and it does allow Ash back through. So we're going back down to P3 now. Again, it was one of those ones, just kind of outbrake myself a little bit. Didn't want to slam into Morrison front leading, so kind of overslowed the car and allowed Ash to sneak on by. But I'm not too worried at this point. I felt like we had the pace. And again, jumping forward a little bit into lap now, you can see we got a decent-ish run through the bus stop. But you'll see now what 20 kilos of weight difference is. It's just the cart's pulling, it's pulling, it's pulling, it's pulling, it's pulling. We do look to the inside, we kind of get a nose there, but we're kind of there, kind of not. We do mount the curb, but I think ambitious would be what I would call that move. It wasn't really on. I could maybe see if I could muscle by, but again, as we're jumping forward now, it's kind of us three kind of more pulling out. As Ash goes wide, he hits some ice, kind of allows us to try and move around the outside. We try it, but again, now we've hit the ice and we've just understeered wide into the tyres. Quick look behind to see where fourth is, but they're not really a threat at this point. So again, you can just see how slippery these conditions are. One small mistake, one slight move offline, and it can be disastrous. Again, we get a good run through, and we know because of our weight we're going to have a decent-ish run down this straight. Again, we're trying to do this wide line through the bus stop to open it up. In hindsight, I'm not sure how good that is, but it is good to see that even with me and Ash fighting, the leader's not really checking out. Again, it's going into this penultimate corner. It's just, we are maybe even catching up to the leader, to be honest with you. And that's why here I decided just to basically just give him a little push, just to kind of give him some momentum. I thought if I fight up the inside, the leader's only going to break away, and I felt like me and Ash at this point were the two quickest karts. You can see how much better he is on the brakes than us through there. He just carries so much more speed through the corner, so much more confidence, and gets it stuck, but does allow a little gap to the inside. We do send one up there, and there is a little bit of contact. We do put our hand out to say sorry, but probably a little bit rough on my behalf. It was a little bit of a lunge. We did hit the barrier on our inside, and that's what did push us into him, but yeah, it was a lunge, but probably a little bit too rough, to be honest, if you're looking at the back. But again now, fourth place has caught up to us as a 4-kart battle for the lead as we go past one of the back markers for the lightweights. So it's just a 4-kart breakaway. These conditions, it's anyone's to win, anyone's to lose. One mistake could be costly. One little thing, one good move, and you could win it, you could lose it. So anyone's to play for here. As you can see here, we're kind of still with keeping pace with Morris. We've still got everyone behind us who's coming into the super slippery section now. Again, I kind of get more of a tighter line, which will allow me to get a tighter line underneath. And do we have enough momentum to put alongside? We do. We do show our nose for the lead. We do go there. We do get squeezed a little bit into that tyre wall, which isn't really helpful. But now we're on the outside, and it has opened the door up now for Ash to come through. We try and brave it around the outside, but it's just not enough grip. We do lift off the back out, but we do tag him a little bit, and that costs all our momentum as well. You can just see how I was saying how one little mistake could cost you, and we've gone from basically fighting at the front of the train to now at the back, but there's still time. Hopefully we can make our way back up through. I'm not too worried. I feel like we've still got the pace. As third goes for a very bold move, and that's quite a lot of contact there for that move. A bit too harsh, I might say, but we're not going to really worry about it because we're just going to pick up the pieces and move up into P3. Again, I mean, the leader's still ever so close to us here as we kind of have a good look, and Ash again's on our inside. He sends one up the inside again. A little bit rough, but probably just repaying the favour, to be honest with you, from what I did to him earlier. So all's fair in love and war, really. I can't really complain too much about that. So back to the back of the snake, but you can see that from us three fighting, it's allowed Morris in the lead to check out, annoyingly, to be honest with you. I felt like me and Ash kind of had the pace, and now both of us are at the back of the train. But it's a three-way kart battle for second. I'm not sure where the kart in second's got his hand up though. So we go into this icy section. But it's alright, Ash has got to run to the outside, and he's just been driven straight into the barrier. That's not good driving, to be honest with you. That's not what you want to see. But we're not going to worry about that. We're going to send it back up the inside. So now it's side by side again with Ash as we go into this bus stop. We do have the inside line, so we should be okay through. We do sneak our way back into second. Definitely stole some places there from some dubious driving, if I'm going to be honest with you. But now let's head down and see if we can catch Morris, but unfortunately we couldn't. The gap was just too big. Kind of a lonely race at the end, but came home in P2. Because we finished P2, it means we will start the feature race now in second, so longer race. Let's see what we can do this time. Again, as the lights go out, again we get such a poor start. Again, back into third. Not really good there, but we're back to where we are, so hopefully we can just head down and see what happens. And we get wiped out. It's just one of those things. It's just unfortunate. It's a bit gutting, to be honest with you. I feel like at this point, though, it's not race over. We are in 4th. Everyone has checked out in front, but the pace we had in the first race, 25 minutes, maybe we can catch them. I think getting wiped there, that's just a case of just ice, to be honest with you. If that happens in the dry, then there's other questions that need to be asked, but in the wet and in the ice, you're just a passenger. But we do able to catch up to P3 in front a few laps later, so let's see what we can do. I feel like at this point we still were maintaining the gap to 1st and 2nd. We could see them, so if we can get by them quickly, get by 3rd quickly, maybe we can make a charge later on. Still plenty of time left and just see what we can do. But again, in these treacherous conditions, one sort of move offline and it could be disastrous. And so we get a good run through that corner here, but we're coming into the icy section, which is not really much we can do. If we send one up the inside there, we're just going to end up both in the barrier. Again, as he kind of runs wide a little bit, so hopefully we can get a good run through the bus stop, maybe through this bottom hairpin. We do pick up the throttle super early and we do get a good run through. We're looking to the outside to try and hopefully get a better run through the bus stop by opening up, but we get too much understeer, and to be honest with you, that line just wasn't working, even though I kept repeating it. So all that time we gained, have to claw it back again, and a few laps later on now we do catch up to the back marker of a lightweight. Again, the cut in P3 does make its way through and we kind of have to follow, which we do. Didn't really gain or lose too much from the back marker there, so head down, let's keep fighting. Although at this point I was feeling like the potential 1st or 2nd was not going to be happening now. I could see them eking away. I was taking too long to get by 3rd and the gap was just growing. Again, as we come through this hairpin, it was definitely my stronger section compared to the driver in P3. Again, coming to the icy part, I just felt like, though, he was just quick in all the wrong sections for me. He just was quick for the areas where I could overtake, and I was quicker than him in the areas where I couldn't, so it kind of meant it was so hard to get by. But we get a good run again through final corner. We try and do our wide line again through bus stop to try and get a better run through, but it just isn't working. I mean, we're a little bit closer this time and hopefully we can pick up a tow and stay with him, but I just feel like we're losing so much time. It's coming through the point on the corner. You can see the cut in front does start to hop and bounce, which does give him a bad exit. So coming into this final corner, we just send one to the inside, we take all the curb and we do go through into P3. But now as we jump forward a few laps now, coming into the final stages of this race, we're starting to catch up with some more back markers in the lightweights. So there is traffic in front, and we have got P3 right behind us, which I did not know about until that hit there, which was my wake-up call of, oh, hang on, we're in a little bit of a race here. I knew it was Ash behind. I could tell by the shadow and the GoPro on the helmet. So I was like, oh, this is no longer a relaxing drive. I was still trying my hardest, don't get me wrong, but I thought P3 was all in the bag, but now it's not. It's an intense fight with a few laps to go. Let's see what we can do. I felt like as we come into this icy section, we're quite safe through here because you can't really do a move on the inside, but Ash is there and you can see he's just so much quicker than us at this time in the race. So we go a little bit deep there, just trying to push that extra little bit harder, and he does pull alongside. We do have the inside line for the bus stop through here. We kind of do get a good run through, and now I'm kind of relying on my weight advantage now just to pull me down this straight. At this point in the race, I was just lacking pace, I was just slow. I felt like as the race went on and the track got quicker, I didn't, whereas everyone else did. And it kind of was hampering us at this point, so we are a bit concerned that if Ash does get by, we might not see him again. So we come on to 2 laps to go now. So coming into turn 2, and we know it's his strong point on the brakes. You can see in the mirror how much quicker he is. He just closes so much onto us, and he gets a good run through. And we're oblivious to this. As we pull to take the racing line, he does a lovely move to the inside. Good move that. And now I just have to follow in. But he takes so much of that inside curb and it pushes him out wide again, which allows us to draw back alongside. This might be our only chance to overtake him again. So coming into turn 6 now, we kind of get the move done, but we have to make sure we don't go too wide onto the ice. So we take a defensive line into his hairpin to make sure he can't get back underneath us. And then we can take a little bit of a deep breath for this corner because there's ice on the inside, it can't be done, but again, we go a little bit wide and he allows us to sneak back up our inside, so side by side into this hairpin before we get into the bus stop. It goes a little bit deep and allows me to get a good cut back, and we're able to sneak back through in front. We try a wider line, and the quicker line's the inside line, as we can see that Ash was doing, and we chop off his nose, and I think he lifted a little bit, which definitely killed his speed and momentum down the straight. 2 corners, then 1 more lap. Can we bring it home? Can we get our third? Again, as we throw into the penultimate corner, the cart's starting to bounce. We're asking too much of it, and it's just killing our momentum. Through the final corner now to start the last lap. It's all down to this. The final spot on the podium. Let's come into this icy section under the brakes. We know we got lunged into this next hairpin, so we're going to cover the inside. We know he's right there. We're going to go ultra defensive to the inside. We're going to make sure we drive straight to the outside now. Make sure he can't get to our inside for this next corner. We don't mind if he's on our outside. Again, for this right, we're going to overslow it. Purposely drive super slow through the centre of the corner to make sure he can't get to our inside for this next corner. Just cover it off. If we can hold the inside, there's no way by. We just got to make sure he can't get to our inside. And again, for this next hairpin, we take a defensive line, but we're going to purposely overslow the kart to make sure we get such a narrow line off that he can't get to our inside. And through here, there's sheet ice, so I know he's never going to go for a move on the inside unless we're both going to be in the tyres. And again, here we overslow the kart just to make sure he can't get to our inside again, because that's where we went side by side last time. We get a decent-ish run through here, and we've learned our lesson now. We're going to cover it off through bus stop. We're going to purposely lift off the throttle on entry to try and bulk his momentum, to try and get the power down this back straight now. And with our weight advantage, we should be able to pull a gap. But going into the penultimate 2 corners, as long as there isn't a mistake by us, hopefully we can get the job done. But as we go in, we throw in the cut with a little bit too much speed, and she starts to bounce. We look over to see the gap, and he is close. We go middle of the line defensive into the final corner to hopefully he can't get up our inside. We take a defensive line to the line, and we do manage to get P3 in the end. That was a very stressful race at the end, but good racing. I give him a thumbs up. So the results then: shootout race, he came P2. Feature race P3, which did mean overall we did come P3. It was a good fun day, to be honest with you. It was good hard battling. Icy conditions were treacherous, and I had a lot of pace early on in the day when it was really icy, and then as it started to get quicker, everyone else found grip that I just never found. I don't think we could have gone much better than our result in the end of third, so it's not a bad result. So see what we can do next time, and on to the next one.